Hi everyone, glad to be with you. I'm going to talk about a subject today which has been important to me for many, many years, and it relates to the suing child protection departments for two things. Number one, for failing to remove a child when they clearly knew that the child was in danger, and the child consequently being harmed from that event, and also suing the department because they have inappropriately removed children when it was totally unnecessary to do so. Now, I'm the first to understand that walking along these two lines is really difficult for the department and for social workers in particular. But there again, when you make a mistake, you should pay for it. But the government never, and neither do the social workers ever, pay for the mistakes which they inflict on other people. I was going to say unwittingly, but sometimes they're quite conscious of the damage that they do, but choose to do nothing about it. Now, there was a case that occurred a couple of years ago. I think it might have been when a couple of children died while left in a car, and the mother, who at the time was under the influence of drugs, left the kids in the car, went inside. It was a hot day, and went to sleep. Consequently, the two children died. Now, the department knew about this woman's drug addiction. They had notifications regarding her continual use of drugs, and there were enough alarm bells and red flags for the department to do something about it. However, they chose to do nothing. And as a result of that, the two children had passed away because of her neglectful behaviour. Now, what we often forget is that when a child, or any family for that matter, is impacted by the Department of Child Protection, there are many people who suffer as a result, not just the parents or the parents in general, but also siblings, also aunties, uncles, grandparents, and other people that are related to the family. So the net around who is impacted by some of the decisions by the Department of Child Protection is usually quite wide. So I'm going to talk to you about this article that came out today in relation to a father who's pursuing legal action against the department because they neglectfully did not take the children into care, nor did they refer the children to him as a primary caregiver, and chose to leave the children with a neglectful mother. Now, the mother has been jailed for a period of time as a result of this behaviour, but it has left the family grieving. So the article is father pursuing legal action against Child Safety Department after mother left daughter Chloe and Darcy Connolly to die in a hot car. A smell, a noise, a photo, that's all it takes to make Peter Jackson's world crumble. And I guess this is my point, is that there are many people who experience this and there's no ability, they don't have any opportunity generally to fight back. They let people know exactly what's happened to them, how it's impacted them, and in this case he has, and he's trying to seek some sort of retribution, which is his right, and which hopefully, if more people were able to do what he's doing right now, then he perhaps will change the system, because people will think twice about whether or not, number one, they remove a child, and number two, whether or not that child was in a neglectful situation. And I guess there is a third one, which is that if the child and the family are not, that their grounds for removing has to be substantial. And in this case, the grounds for removing were substantial, but they chose not to do so. He says you just want to lay in bed, pull the doona over your head and be done with the day. And these are beautiful looking kids, as all kids are fantastic, and they had their life ahead of them, and that was snuffed out as a result of a mother's behaviour. Earlier this year, the girl's mother, Kerry Ann Connolly, was convicted of their manslaughter, with a sentencing judge labelling the actions as grossly negligent. Mr. Jackson says if Connolly had not decided to leave the children in the car, they would still be here. However, he says the Queensland government's child protection system is also to blame. If the Department of Child Safety has done what they were supposed to do, then the girls would still be here. And I guess this is the key issue, that if the department had chosen not to remove these children but placed them with him or placed them in another situation away from the mother, the children would have been kept safe. So, and that could be why the mother chooses to get her act together, do whatever she needs to do to meet the issues that are in her life, and later on perhaps reunite with these kids. But now they're gone forever, and this is very sad. While Connolly serves her prison sentence, Mr. Jackson is pursuing legal action seeking damages for personal injuries he says stem from their deaths. And I guess we can only imagine what those personal injuries are, given that I can't even imagine what it'd be like to lose any of my kids. It would be devastating under any circumstance, let alone under a circumstance which could have been avoided had the department been active enough, proactive enough to be able to recognise the harm that these children were in while they were with their mother. So what is this like for him? Well, as he says, he finds it difficult to sleep. He thinks of them all the time, that the trauma that's created as a result of this event, which could have been avoided, is quite remarkable. A notice of calm filed as part of that application states has sustained nervous shock, severe traumatic stress disorder, and severe anxiety as a result of the children's deaths, and was admitted to hospital in January 2020. According to the documents, he received a phone call from Connolly on November the 23rd, 2019, saying she left the children in the car and they were not breathing. He then attended and attempted to revive the children, but they'd already passed away. Mr. Jackson says he has horrific memories of his daughter Darcy and her sister Chloe in the bathroom that day, images he cannot escape, and I think we can all imagine what that must be like. He says every day since their death has been a living nightmare. It's changed everything. It's not just me that this has affected, and this is what I was saying before, it's the whole family. We've basically had to learn how to live again. But he says when he learned since the girl's death about how child safety handled the case has strengthened his resolve to pursue legal action. And there are many families who feel this way, who see either harm has been done to their child and the department has not been involved, or harm has been done and trauma created simply because children have been removed from parents, when in actual fact they could have stayed with the parent or with somebody else while the parents either got their act together or the department chose to work with them. Now, I appreciate that sometimes people will say that this is a conflicting issue. Well, actually, it's not as bad as people think. I've been working in this area for over a decade now, and you can tell what parents are prepared to deal with the issues and what are not, and the way by which the department can get involved in order for these parents to be able to deal with and manage the problems that are in their lives. But often the department think that removing a child is the best thing to do, and in many cases it isn't. And then there are other circumstances where you wonder why the child has remained with a parent who simply has not been able to resolve the issues during their life. And one of the problems is this inconsistency that exists in the department, where the decision-making is not consistent in any way, shape or form, and that you have decisions like this one, which meant the kids had died. You have plenty of other situations where the parents have had children removed from them unnecessarily. And there seems to be a lack of consistent understanding about what is actually in the child's best interest in many of these cases. So let me know what you think. Put a comment down below. Be most interested in what you have to say. And just remember that if you wish to contact me, you can contact me on this email address. And if you are watching this video, I'd like to think that you could subscribe to my channel and ring the bell for further notifications. Thanks everybody for being with me. Take care. Look after yourselves and be safe.